you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Vos Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Vos.
Hi, this is Voss here from the ChrisVosShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, there are listening to That Makes It Official. Welcome to the big show. For over 16 years and 2,300 episodes, we bring in the Chris Vos Show. All the wonderful minds, people, places, and things. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Vos, LinkedIn.com/Chris Vos, Chris Vos one, the TikTok, and Chris Vos, Facebook.com. Today we have an amazing young man on the show. Base Naaman joins us on the show, and he's going to be talking to us about his company and what he does. He's the co-founder and head of brand at The Realist, where he directs creative strategy, and oversees partnerships with major names like the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't they just win a Super Bowl? Miami Heat, Snoop Dogg, Usher, and Paramount Studios. The Realist is the next-gen authentication standard for sports and entertainment memorabilia. Sourcing items directly from arthritis. Wow, I might be having a seizure today. Call 911 if I fall over my chair. From artists and athletes, powered by cutting-edge authentication technology. So it makes it easier for collectors and fans to own the most trusted collectibles in the world. Welcome to the show, Base. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Yeah, there's a lot of big words in that bio for sure. So
I'm doing my fourth show of the day, so maybe the brain's left for the dinner or something.
Yeah, brains are having dinner. We tend to have like different energy peaks in the afternoon. So it's like it's weird enough. This is when I come to life, even though I do wake up early. But
yeah, I just probably need more of another round of espresso and coffee and stuff. Tell us about the .coms, I guess, and the Realist and what you guys do there.
Yeah, so the Realist, in a nutshell, is like you mentioned, is the next-gen memorabilia authentication and marketplace. So we essentially partner with artists, with athletes, with teams, with studios, and we take their memorabilia, whether it's game-used items, game-used jerseys, game-used, cleats, balls. In the case of artists, stage-used instruments, stage-used outfits. We take those from the source on site directly. We have people that are authenticating it, witnessing it being used, and then we put it up for auction. So fans of those artists, of those teams, have the ability to buy those items coming directly from the source.
Oh,
so
wow.
To give you a bit of a background, we kind of all come from either a music or a sports background. We understand music very well. We understand sport very well. But we all are collectors in our own rights, whether it's, like little things from ticket stubs to posters to whatever we can get our hands on, having worked, in radio and in the music industry for a while. And we always, realized that there was a gap between how sports treats memorabilia and how sports fans understand and appreciate memorabilia and how like music fans understand and appreciate memorabilia. There was like this big gap where musicians were really not taking advantage of the items that they had, and just like that fame and the likeness that they possess. People in sports, they love collecting game used jerseys. They love collecting game used anything they can get their hands on. Mm-hmm. Music, on the other hand, that whole concept was non-existent for a very long time. The only time you were able to really get your hands on memorabilia was like on some very high ticket items. We were just talking off air previously about Nirvana. So you'll find, like a Kurt Cobain guitar once every few years. And he had such a short career span, unfortunately, that there's not that many on the market. So when you do see one up for auction, it'll go for $3-4 million. Yeah. Music fans were shielded in a way. There's like the barrier to entry was so high for these items. There were only grails that were being sold. So people were not really able to get their hands on smaller ticket items, things that, set lists that the artist would be using on stage, or like drumsticks or drum heads or vinyls or anything of that sort. So we noticed that there was that missing piece, and we kind of wanted to fill that gap. And we started working on the concept and started going to artists, and we were talking just about Dave Mustaine and Megadeth and kind of showing them the potential and telling them that, you are some of the most followed and loved and admired people on this planet. Like, why are people not able to own items that you've used on stage or in your studios or just in your daily life?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the authentication part comes in. We kind of double down on the authentication because we are, big sports fan, like I mentioned, and we realized like Major League Baseball was the only league in the world that had authenticators on site authenticating every single ball and every single play that was happening, because they identified how much fraud was happening in baseball. They even brought in the FBI, and there was like, a whole investigation where they identified that about 90% of autographs and memorabilia was in fact fake. So they wanted to, get their hands on that whole program and kind of just put a lid on it, and they established their own authentication process. So we were really inspired by that. We even worked with people from that league, people that pioneered that whole technology, and we started applying it to music and to other sports. So we have witnesses sitting courtside at every game we authenticate, sitting stage side at every concert we authenticate, sitting in studios when studio sessions are happening, witnessing items being used, witnessing instruments being played, witnessing balls and jerseys being worn, and taking them from those artists, like literally taking a jersey off of the player's back. That way you have 100% line of sight, you have 100% provenance, you know exactly where it's coming from. There's no room for error, there's no gray area, and that's how you ensure that something is 100% authentic.
Wow. That's crazy. I remember seeing Dan Rather in the interview Geddy Lee. We were talking earlier about Geddy Lee in the pre-show and Rush, and he'd mentioned that he'd gotten into collecting baseballs. And his first baseball that he ever bought was supposed to be really a hot baseball. And turns out it was a fake autograph, and he paid a lot of money. He said he didn't say how much. He said it was a lot, and he just got so angry. He wanted to double down. He wanted the real thing even more. And so, there's a lot of fraud. There's a couple Rush groups that I'm in. I'm a big Rush fan, and there's always somebody posting, "Hey, I saw this online," or "I'm bought this," or "I'm looking to buy this." Do these signatures look real to you? And 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, they're like, "No, that's about as fake as it can be." And they charge a lot of money for this. I mean, there's a lot of money for, you can be ripped off if you're a collector.
Yeah, people don't realize how much of that stuff out there is actually fake. And for the naked eye, it's almost impossible for you to tell the difference. If if it's an autograph, especially if it's a famous person whose autograph is pretty much anywhere you can see online, it's not that hard to go and replicate that. Even like on Photoshop now with AI technology, it's like almost pretty much impossible for you to tell the difference. And even people, with all due respect to everyone that's, an appraiser or anyone that's really inspecting autograph, like the best they can do is give you their opinion. And that's usually where those like paper COAs come in place. And if you read any of them, it just says that, based on our expertise, we think that this autograph is authentic. That's not giving you 100% guarantee. And even those papers could be, forged. We've seen that happen so much. If you are able to forge a Babe Ruth or a Michael Jordan autograph on a baseball or on a jersey, you're able to just create a COA on a piece of paper. Once you bring that up to people and you actually bring that up to artists, they don't even realize how much of their stuff is being, sold online.
Wow.
Their fans are getting ripped off. They're making $0. And then people are just getting mad because once people find a fake autograph, they're going to get mad at the artist. They're not really going to get mad at whoever scammed them because that person's just long gone.
Oh, wow.
So it's a whole ecosystem of just like fraud that's just hurting both sides, that we're like trying to, make people aware of and make people really doubt every single thing that they have. That's why we offer that kind of provenance. We want people to see the item being used from the stage all the way to their hands, and they can see the exact trajectory of the item.
I can see. I'm perusing the Megadeth autographed stuff on your site. We mentioned before that I'm also a Megadeth fan, and there's a ton of stuff. And you got everything from guitar picks to posters to drumsticks. And the great thing is, that they're real. You got Usher has some stuff here. Snoop Dogg has some stuff here. You got any signature autographed baby oil from P. Diddy?
Not yet. We don't have authentication where he's at right now.
Well,
Hopefully never. But yeah, Megadeth. It's funny. It's a funny story. Megadeth was actually our first partner, or the first people we convinced to work with us. And the way it happened is we happened to be in Paris with another band, and we were kind of like looking around town. We're like, what's happening tonight? Who else is in town? And we saw that Megadeth was playing at the Olympia, which is a legendary venue in Paris. So we reached out to their management. We had a like contact with, and we actually went to their show in the hopes to just meet them, right? And kind of like give them an idea of what we're doing. We didn't, you know how it is backstage. It's usually chaotic. You don't get to talk much. It's kind of just, show and face, and then we'll like connect later. But in fact, like we got to speak with their tour manager, who was super cool, super knowledgeable, who understood everything we were trying to do from the get-go. He was like, I get it. I know exactly what you're trying to do. We, in fact, do all of this. We collect every single thing. We don't throw nothing away. Wow. So he like took us in the back, started giving us posters from previous shows. We started taking, posters from the venue, like anything that has a date on it, that has that provenance is something that, it's a moment in time. You can't like replicate that. You can't have another poster that says Olympia Paris with that date. So we kind of left that show with like hands full of things. And then we ended up going to like more shows with them. And we went on a couple shows on the tour, and Dave was sitting with us and signing, set lists. He was signing posters. He was signing all of these things, all like telling us, the story behind how he got started. And then we were able to get our hands on one of his guitars, the Flying V Gibson guitar, which is like a signature Dave Mustaine guitar. And he signed that one, and we went and sat with him in Nashville, and he like told us the entire story. You can see it on YouTube or on social media about his guitar and how he like, helped invent and innovate the Flying V. And then just that, that storytelling from him, and him having that guitar in his hand while he was like, telling the story, just gave it so much more value. So it's going to forever have a special place in our hearts working with Megadeth.
Yeah, that's great that they did that with you guys, that they were open about it and stuff. I wish more bands would do that, because, I've never really collected autographs, mainly for that reason, because I've been concerned about the authenticity, and, I'm dumb enough to go ahead and do a wrong buy. I'll be like, yeah, look fine to me.
Yeah, I mean, we all bought things online. I've bought stuff that are autographed. God knows if it's real or not. I don't even want to find out at this point. But yeah, with Dave, it's like we had an authenticator sitting there with him every time he was signing. Everything was being filmed. If it's not signed in front of us, we can't give it that same authentication seal as we would if it was signed in front of us. So that's why we're super protective on our we call it the sticker, because it's in fact the actual sticker that has like many layers of tech and authentication standards. So we're not able to do that. If someone was not signing in front of us, we will not attest that we witnessed it, and it will forever be, unknown, even though it's coming from the artist. But we have different levels of authentication just to make sure we're like 1000% transparent, and make sure that people, when they buy something, they know what they're getting exactly, and there's like zero room for questioning or error.
Wow. And this is crazy. I'm looking at the website. You got the Eagles up here. You've got things of their celebration confetti. You got things of the field grass from Lincoln Financial Field. You got to keep that alive so it doesn't die.
Yeah, we have ones we have grass that's already dead, that's clipped, and then we have this grass that we just launched, the South Philly Bonsai, which is grass in its turf that is meant to stay alive and grow. So Eagles is obviously an amazing partner to have as well. We got really lucky partnering with them in the beginning of the season. Ended up winning the Super Bowl, of course.
Oh, yeah.
How much better can it get?
Oh, yeah.
And so after every game, not only were we taking jerseys and we're taking, game used items, we were also taking grass clippings, because they are one of the few fields in the NFL that actually has real grass. So they trim the grass after every single game from the end zone. So we have, again, an authenticator there witnessing the grass being trimmed, and then they pick it up. You can also see that on our Instagram. They literally pick up the grass in a bucket from the game. They take it and they bottle it in small containers, and people are able to buy grass in that container from that specific game that has, like the score of the game, and it has the authentication. And people really, some people think it's funny or it's crazy, but they don't. Baseball's been doing this for decades. Like baseball sells dirt from every single game, every single stadium.
Really?
That's hundreds of games a year.
Wow.
So it's not like a very foreign concept. Maybe like in football it is. So we're constantly trying to push that, memorabilia space and just like get creative, because not everybody can afford, a $10,000 game used jersey. But they maybe want, something to put on their desk, something to just like gift a friend that's like accessible. And that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to have something for everyone and kind of like, level that playing field where it's like you can buy something that's in your budget that's still as authentic as anything else.
And you've got auctions for Gladiator 2. How'd that go?
Yeah, Gladiator 2 also was like our first, venture into film and movies. We built a great relationship with Paramount Studios. They're great partners. They're great friends. They're down the street, actually. And, we knew about Gladiator 2 happening, and we knew how much props they were actually using. In these kind of movies, you have thousands of extras, and every single person is actually wearing those outfits. And those outfits are so well made. Gladiator won best Oscar for best costume because of the accuracy and how much work went into putting these costumes together. The same thing for Gladiator 2. Jen T.H., who's the same costume designer, was the one that's doing Gladiator 2. And when I tell you, like, if you see these helmets and you see these armor and you see what they look like, it's crazy how much detail and work goes into it. So we knew that we had such treasure, that we'd hate to go to waste. You have no idea how much stuff goes to waste, how many things just either go in the trash or they don't even get recycled. So we're like, let us take this off your plate. Let us get this in the hands of real fans, people that would love to own it. And studios were like, sure, if you can authenticate it and you can do it, we kind of like do the work for them. We're kind of, just like someone that's taking someone's trash per se and turning it into like real treasure with our storytelling and with the way we present it, and really just give it another life. And I think it's super important from, even like an environmental standpoint, like these things, instead of going in the trash and going somewhere and just like collecting dust, these are museum quality pieces. Like the level of detail that goes into them should not go to waste.
Oh, wow. There
So
you go.
that's how that happened. And while doing that, we also got, of course, costumes from the main actors, from Denzel Washington, from Emperor Caracalla. So people were able to bid on them, and some people are now like the lucky owners of those costumes.
That's pretty awesome. People love this stuff. They love collecting it. They love owning pieces of it. They love the memorabilia. They love the fandom, if you will. I mean, it's great that somebody's making this, because, like I said, the reason I don't collect anything with names on it is because I'm concerned about getting ripped off. Like, I just don't want to be ripped off. I would not be able to live with myself if I end up buying something stupid and I'm like, you paid like $2,000 for that, it's worthless. So yeah, it would bug the shit out of me. Yeah, I like that there's something out here. So what's the setup on how you guys approach people? How you guys get them going on to this stuff? How do you guys secure the alliances that you have?
It's all about trust, really. It's like building these relationships directly with the artists and teams. We're providing them with something that's really protecting their legacy. We always say that it's not really just about making money, because a lot of these artists, definitely a lot of teams, they don't need that kind of money. It's not like going to move the needle a lot for them. It's more so about protecting their legacy and protecting their fans, making sure they're getting something that's real directly from the source, instead of it just going in the trash or someone selling it or someone faking it and selling it on eBay and just ripping people off. A lot of memorabilia companies just resell things with verifying the source, and that's how someone like you or me gets ripped off. But we work with the partners directly from day one to make sure that everything is 100% real. So that's why, the Eagles, Usher, Paramount, Snoop Dogg, Megadeth, and so many others trust us with this process, because we show them how we do it from start to finish. And, we're obviously, they're there to witness it happen, and they see it landing in the hands of real fans, and they see like the satisfaction of their fans and protecting their fans, protecting their legacy. And, of course, making money off of something that they were going to throw in the trash, whether they need the money or not. A lot of them send the money to charity. So you kind of like, you're winning all the way around.
So there's money that goes to charity in it?
However the partner wants to spend or distribute their money, a lot of them, choose to send the money to charity. So it's money that they were gonna, it's found money essentially that they were not gonna have, and we're giving them something for stuff that they were going to throw away. So why not?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? Let's do it. What do you have next coming up? What's up next on your agenda or different things you're working on?
Yeah, we're expanding. We're doubling down on sports. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we kind of started this idea as like a music heavy idea. It's like we were all in the music business and we wanted to emulate what sports was doing and implement it with music, but sports kind of just landed on our lap. And because sports, like the sports world in general, understands that concept more so than anything else. So we're expanding fast in sports. We have a lot going on with football. We have a lot going on in basketball. We're partnering with the Miami Heat. We're doing, the unrivaled women's basketball. We're doing a lot on the soccer kind of front. That's coming soon. Definitely more music, more big partnerships. Not a lot we can announce yet, but definitely doubling down on football, doubling down on basketball, doubling down on soccer. Baseball season's coming up. We have a big Tony Gwynn auction that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Tony Gwynn, of course, San Diego Padres legend. We had his first auction last year. We have part 2 that's coming up at the end of the month, and we're going to have a few more auctions with him because we just have so much cool stuff from his archives, from his estate, that we think his fans should own.
What's been your best auction to date so far?
I would say like Eagles is definitely like our biggest partner for sure. That's the one that's made the most noise, especially with the fun stuff that we've been selling, like the grass, even the snow that we sold that went like really viral. Like we did not think it would get this much press. We actually sold snow from the game. It was like one of those snow games where we were not able to take the grass, so we're like, why don't we just take the snow instead? So we like take snow, put it in a cooler, and then we created these like little containers, little pints that look like ice cream pints, and we put snow in it, and people were actually able to buy snow. So
wow,
yeah,
did
that
it
was
refreeze well and crap.
It froze. I mean, look, if you're putting it in a UPS truck, UPS trucks are not always made to transport ice cream, but who like picked it up soon or got it like the soonest definitely got like snow. Others got a bit of a mushy texture substance, but it's more so about the idea of it. It's more so about something that you can display, and it's that moment. We're trying to give people and bring the fans like closer to those moments that matters. It's not about the value of the item, more so about the memories that it brings.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'd love you to get together with my friends at Metallica, man. I'd love to buy Metallica stuff.
I would love to. I'm a huge Metallica fan. Yeah, I grew up on Metallica, so I think nothing's impossible. I think we'll be able to reach everyone soon enough. They'll know about what we're doing, and we've authenticated Super Bowl champions, Super Bowl halftime shows, concerts, metal, baseball, basketball, you name it, everything across the board in such a short period of time. So I don't think things is unreachable. It's just a matter of time, and it's just a matter of, them understanding what we're trying to do and just like getting a grasp on the whole idea and fans wanting to own things that are 100% authentic and real and straight from the source.
I can see the importance of that. Like I said, I'm in a bunch of groups for music bands, and to see people that they're like, I just paid $2,000 for this, and everybody in the comment section is like, dude, that's not the signatures. And I mean, it's just painful to watch some people lose that money. They're like, you have an album that's worth $10.
I mean, honestly, that's how the idea, like one of the reasons this idea started, our founder and CEO, DJ Ski, he's big into sports collecting. He's from Minnesota, and he was bidding Minnesota Vikings. I think it was a Randy Moss jersey on a different auction site. And he was like going up, and it was like, the price was like up in the $20,000, $30,000. And I think he texted one of his friends who works for the Vikings, and he told him, he's like, how far should I go with this? Like, how much do you think it's worth? He's like, nothing. It's actually fake. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, it's up on the site. He's like, yeah, but this jersey was never issued. Like, we never issued this kind of, it was either a colorway or some sort of like logo variation. And he's like, yeah, but it has a COA from the Vikings. He's like, yeah, you know how easy it is to make a COA with a letterhead? I can make a Chris Vos Show with your logo COA like right now and say that this was your microphone. And it's who can really prove, and that's when he realized how bad it is. And he was about to spend like $30,000 for this like Randy Moss supposedly game used jersey. So it happens to the best of us, even like the best collectors. That's why we have to make sure that people are getting that guarantee. They know the provenance. Even if you go and look on our listings and our disclaimers, when we write something, like we'll even write that we were not there to witness it, just to be 100% clear, because we know it's coming from the Eagles. We know it's from the locker room, but we were not there in that specific moment. We still disclaim that, just to be 100% transparent, because you really never know. There's a lot of bad actors out there, and we want to make sure people don't think we're one of them, and we want to make sure those bad actors are not interfering in our process. So
I love it because, like I say, it's the one thing that held me back from collecting. I've wanted to do it, but I'm just
where to get it straight from the stores.
I just need to get together with Rush and Megadeth or Metallica, if you would please, and those are my two.
You'll be the first to know it for sure.
So how do people learn more and stay in touch with you and give us the pitch out as we go out?
Yeah, I mean, check us out, therealist.com. Super easy. A realist with an E, not the I. People usually mistake that. You can browse our auction, see what's coming up, sign up for exclusive drops. If you sign up, you'll get notified before anyone else. A lot of times we're doing a lot of giveaways. Your favorite, artists, if they're coming up, or if you have a certain type of genre of music or sports or anything you might be into, that's always a good place to start. So therealist.com. Follow us on social, of course. We always announce new collections over there, and we have a lot of behind the scene content. That's what's cool about it, is if we were on the field with the Eagles or backstage, like that content is going up in real time, so people are able to see it. They're able to see how our authenticators are collecting these things, whether they're clipping the grass from the field or picking up snow, or like in Usher's dressing room, and he's like taking his shirt off. Like, you'll see that because we are that transparent. We want to make sure it's also great content for us to have.
Awesome sauce. Thank you very much for coming to the show. We really appreciate it.
Chris, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Base. And thanks to our audience for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Vos, LinkedIn.com.
Oh, by the way,
good.
Quick flex. This is a death row plaque behind me. This was the plaque that was actually given to Dr. Dre from Death Row Records.
Oh, wow.
Before he had left. So this is like a multi-platinum plaque for everything from Doggy Style to The Chronic to all of the iconic albums that he released on Death Row Records. So those are the kind of things you'll find here. And this is coming directly from the source, directly from Dr. Dre. It was gifted to DJ Skis.
Wow.
It's not something that, you put together or you just like make up, buy on eBay. So those are the kind of things that we are surrounded by constantly.
I love it. Yeah, you can't ever trust what's on eBay half the time anyway. It's crazy over there. Yeah. All right, man. Thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you guys next time. And that should happen.